Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little come shop with me for horror books and movies, and I'm going to show you some hauls in between. Okay, so I went to a thrift store and I got some books, all of this for just $16, and I figured I'd do a quick book haul. First, I picked up The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. This I've seen a lot of people recommend. I think they've compared it to Pet Sematary. I don't know much about it, but I know a lot of people like it. I tried to give Jennifer McMahon a shot with, I think it's The Uninvited. I didn't like it, so I'm giving her another shot with this book. Then I found this cute, cozy little mystery, The Trick or Treat Murder. I mostly picked this up because of the cover. It's just giving me those cozy fall Halloween vibes that I crave. I think it takes place in October in Maine, and there's obviously a murder that happens around a Halloween festival. Then I picked up The Need, which I think is a story about motherhood, but from the looks of the cover, it looks like it's like more like Annihilation. I picked up Bathhouse, which I know is a thriller. I don't know much about it. Oh, so I guess this guy is in a happy relationship and he goes to a gay bathhouse and something goes wrong. Then I picked up a copy of Rosemary's Baby because I love this cover. I love Rosemary's Baby. I already have a copy of it, but it's the paperback, so I needed this one. And then finally, I picked up The Diviners, which is not really my style. I'm not really into like historical fiction type stuff, but I think this has a creepy element to it and supernatural stuff. I've always heard great things about it. Want to give it a try. And I also picked up some movies at that thrift store. I picked up The Fly 2, which I don't know much about. I think he's the son of Jeff Goldblum's character in The Fly, and I've heard that it's actually pretty decent. Obviously not as good as the first Fly from David Cronenberg, but we'll check it out. Then I picked up 1408, which is a really good underrated or underappreciated Stephen King movie about a travel writer who stays in a haunted room to see if it's haunted, and he discovers that it is. And then I found Big Trouble, or Nothing But Trouble, which is a movie I loved when I was little. It's horrible. It's about this couple who their car breaks down and they end up at this weird house full of all these weird, strange people. This movie is not good, but it's just silly, fun, and campy. And then lastly, I went to another independent bookstore and I picked up The Wasp Factory, which is, I think, a very disturbing read. It's about a kid who's a serial killer, or a person who's a serial killer. I've always seen this on Disturbing Books list. It's named one of the top 100 novels of the century by The Independent, so we'll see. The woman at the store told me to be careful, or she said, watch out, when she saw that I had that in my hands. So that makes me want to read it even more. So stay tuned. I will let you know my thoughts because I'm probably going to start that one soon. So I just came back from the thrift store, the local thrift store to me, and I picked up some more books and another movie. And yesterday I went to Savers and scored a bunch of horror movies and Goosebumps books as well. So I figured I'd show them to you. And I found this copy, this Scream trilogy, which I was super pumped. It's supposed to have Scream 1, 2, and 3. But the people were sneaky and they swapped out Scream 1 with Scream 4. I'm okay with that because I wanted to have these movies anyway, and I like this box set, so I'm just sad that it doesn't have Scream 1, but I can always find it. Then I picked up this copy of Insidious, which is a James Wan haunted house film. It's not my favorite. I actually like part 3 more than this one, but I feel like I needed it in my collection. I feel like it's a modern day classic haunted house story. Then I found Drag Me to Hell, which is a Sam Raimi film about a woman who I believe she gets cursed by this one of her clients, and things go absolutely bonkers. I haven't seen this one since I initially saw it, so it's time for a rewatch. I just know that it has some really gnarly, gross stuff in it, and it's pretty entertaining. So then I picked up this copy of Alien, which is still in the package. So I surprisingly only saw this last year, I think, and I fell in love with it. Need to have it. It's an iconic sci-fi horror movie about a space crew who discover this abandoned ship and they bring back an alien species and things go horribly wrong for them. Great movie. Then I have Child's Play 2. This one I actually liked the best. This one messed me up when I was little. I saw it when I was far too young, but Chucky was messed up. The stuff he did, there's one particular scene that takes place in a car with a bag over somebody's head that it's just ingrained in my memory. I'll never get over that. And I think about it whenever I get into a car to this day. Thank you, Chucky. Thank you, Chucky, for ruining my life. Then I picked up some pretty awesome books. I hit the Goosebumps jackpot, and I found a bunch of the classics that we know and love today. I found Stay Out of the Basement, Monster Blood, The Haunted Mask, which is my favorite in this bunch, and Say Cheese and Die. I also picked up The Curse of Mummy's Tomb, and this Series 2000 Goosebumps Headless Halloween. This is giving me Sleepy Hollow Headless Horseman vibes, so I was pumped to find this. What I love is that these books they have the name of the little girl they belong to. Her name was Mary. I love finding stuff like that and seeing the names of the people who owned it before, and I want to thank Mary for taking such good care of these books, and for your mom who probably gave them away without telling you she was going to do that. They're mine now, and I will cherish them. Thank you. Then I stopped by my P.O. box and I picked up this package from Matt Soder. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but thank you so much for sending me this beautiful copy of Salem's Lot. It's like in perfect condition and I love it. I didn't realize they're illustrated. Salem's Lot is my favorite of the Stephen King books that I've read so far, so thank you so much for sending me this. You didn't have to do that, and yeah, I will cherish it. Then today I stopped at my local thrift store and I found some good stuff. So I first spotted The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I haven't read much of Riley Sager. I'm actually currently reading Home Before Dark, finally, and I'm really enjoying it. That's up much more in my alley than Lock Every Door was. I hated Lock Every Door, but I think it's because I went into it with a certain mindset, like this is going to be like Rosemary's Baby, and it's not. So I think I was a little too hard on it. But Home Before Dark is what I love. It's filled with haunted house tropes. It's like Amityville Horror meets Haunting of the Hill House, and I love it. So I've heard good things about this one from people, and I believe it's set in the summer. Or it's set at a camp. I thought it would just be perfect to read as we enter summer. Then I found some really beautiful copies of Dracula. I love this cover. And the great illustrated classics of Frankenstein. The illustrations in this are beautiful. Maybe I'll actually read Frankenstein now that I have pictures to look at. And lastly, I picked up The Exorcist on DVD. Surprisingly, I didn't own The Exorcist on DVD. I have it on VHS. But yeah, I'm excited to finally have the DVD in my collection. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and I think it's a must for everybody's collection. My voice is giving out now, so I'm gonna go. Hello, it is Sunday the 22nd. It is the day before I start my new job. I've been doing a week of book shopping, used book shopping, used movie shopping, and I think this is going to be the last trip part of this little vlog. I drove to the used book Superstore, so I'm going to see if I can find some good horror books and some movies, so stay tuned. Here is my haul from the used book Superstore. First, I picked up this novelization of Alien, which is in pretty good condition. This is obviously based on the film Alien, which is about a space crew who stumble upon an abandoned ship after answering a distress call, and they discover an alien species, and all goes wrong. It's horrifying. Then I picked up this paperback edition of The Dead Zone. I love this cover. I actually found a hardcover copy of this book as well. The cover is similar, it's just the hardcover, the color, it has color to it, and this is black and white. I wanted to pick this up because I do want to read The Dead Zone eventually. I really enjoy the film, and I like having the option of either reading the hardcover or the paperback. Can switch off if I feel like it. But anyway, The Dead Zone is a Stephen King horror book about a man who gets into a car accident that puts him in a coma for like 5 years, and when he wakes up he realizes that he has psychic abilities and he learns some really dark stuff. It's a really good movie. Then I found this copy of Skeleton Crew, which is a short story collection from Stephen King. I've been wanting to read this one for a while. It has The Mist in there, and it has The Jaunt, which is a story that I've always seen on Reddit recommended as being one of Stephen King's scariest stories. I think they might be making it into a movie, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to find this. Then I found a copy of Rosemary's Baby. I love these little details of the book. Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite movies. And this book, other than not having the slipcover to it or whatever, is in perfect condition. I love that it's purple. It's just so beautiful and I couldn't resist it. Alright, then I picked up Stephen King's Thinner. I was so excited to find this because the last time I was at the used book Superstore, I saw this on the table by the registers when I was leaving. I was like, oh, and I for some reason thought I already had it and I didn't, and I was so mad at myself that I didn't pick it up. So found it again. It's a little messed up, but that's fine. I like it. Other than that, the book is in pretty good condition. This is Stephen King writing as Richard Bachman. So this is, I've only seen the movie. I haven't read the book, obviously. Do I ever read any of these books? No. So this is about a guy who, he gets into an accident, I believe, and he's cursed by this woman and he starts losing weight rapidly, where he's basically wasting away and dying, and he has to figure out how to stop it. I know the movie scared the crap out of me. It was terrifying, especially the end of what happens. Then I picked up some YA books. I got Carol B. Cooney's The Face on the Milk Carton. It's about a girl who she realizes that she was kidnapped when she was little because she finds a picture of her younger self on a milk carton, or what she thinks is her younger self. That story sounds so creepy. And just, it's so realistic that has happened. So I really want to check this one out. I have a few books by Carol B. Cooney now. The covers are always so cool. And then I picked up another one from her called Driver's Ed. This cover is pretty cool. And I think it's about a bunch of kids who are taking driver's ed, and then I think something bad happens. So that's it for books at the used book Superstore. Now we're moving into DVDs. I went a little crazy, but they were only like $1. So first I picked up a movie that I was shocked I didn't already own, and that is Frailty. I loved this movie. I still love it, but when I first saw it, I was in high school and I was obsessed with it. I watched it every single day after school. I was just so enamored with the whole story. I thought it was so unique, and the ending shocked me, and I loved Matthew McConaughey's performance. I loved the young kids who played the brothers when they were younger. I loved everything about this movie. I thought it was so creepy, and I still do. So I'm excited to add it to my collection finally. So this is about two brothers whose father begins hearing voices from God, and he believes that it's his purpose to rid the evil of the world, and that involves kidnapping people and ridding them of their demons by killing them. And it's just really, it's just such a layered story, and it's just so well done. It's one of my favorite religious horror movies out there because it's one of those where you don't really know what's real and what's not, if what's happening is actually happening, if the father's really having this message from God, or if he's just, you know, depraved and wanting to murder people. It's just a really well done movie and I love it. I miss Bill Paxton so much. Then I found Dark City, which is a movie I haven't seen in years. This used to be on like HBO, one of the movie channels when I was younger, all the time, and I remember it would always be on late at night. It's about this guy who he has these issues with sleeping. He awakens one night in a strange hotel room and discovers that he's wanted for a series of brutal murders, but he can't remember anything. So then he begins being hunted by the police and this mysterious group called the Strangers, who can stop time. I remember it freaking me out when I was little because there's moments where this guy is the only one awake and the entire city is asleep, and it's just so creepy. It's so creepy, and I haven't watched it in years, but I saw this. I really want to rewatch it and decided to pick it up. Then I picked up Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. Oh, I didn't know that Clive Barker makes a cameo in it. Yeah, so this movie is a movie that has a really creepy story. It's about this mother-son duo. They're modern day vampires. They're basically cats, and they like suck the life force out of people. And one of them, the son, he preys on virgins, and he goes on a date with this girl in town, and I just remember it scaring the crap out of me when I was little because he seems like a normal sweet guy, and then he transforms into this monster and he starts hunting her down. It's so scary, but also cheesy when you look back at it. They look ridiculous, but I think it's an underrated or underappreciated Stephen King movie from the 90s, but it's definitely dated and of its time. Then I picked up Dead Shack, which is a horror movie that is on Shudder, or it was on Shudder, and it's about this family that are staying in this cabin in the middle of the woods, and while the kids go trekking out into the area, they discover this woman in this house who's feeding people to her dead relative, and then madness ensues from there. I remember this being super cute and funny. I mean, cute is the wrong word. It's a zombie movie, but it was like a fun coming of age zombie movie, and I really liked the characters and the parents in this. It's just a really good time. I think it's fun, silly, doesn't take itself too seriously, and I highly recommend it. Then I picked up Dreamcatcher, which I love this movie. First half of this movie is so good, and then the second half kind of goes off the rails, but I still love it. It's a comfort winter horror watch for me. This is about a group of friends who stay in a cabin in the middle of winter, and everything goes horribly wrong. I just love the cast of this so much. The cast is so excellent, and the friendship group is one of my favorites. So I just love the cozy winter vibes, and then how it goes horribly wrong. I just wish it wasn't as crazy as it gets, but sometimes, I mean, it's crazy, but it's still fun to watch because the cast is so good. It's one of my favorite Stephen King movies. Then I picked up Signs, which is, I think it's my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie. This movie scared the crap out of me when I was younger. I saw it a couple of times in theaters, and it's just like slow and subtle. It has an amazing cast, and it's about this pastor he's a former pastor, and he's struggling with his faith since the death of his wife, and strange things start happening around the world. Like crop circles start popping up, and these creatures, these alien creatures start popping up everywhere. So they basically have to prepare. And they're surrounded by cornfields. It's just so creepy. It has so many different elements to it that makes it an unnerving watch, especially when you first see the alien in the cornfield, or there's one particular moment that is a true standout. It's when Joaquin Phoenix's character is watching a videotape that's on the news of an alien sighting, and it's one of the scariest, well-timed scares I've ever seen. It scared the crap out of me. It still does. I think that it's just, every time I watch it, it just gets creepier and creepier, and I love how everything has a purpose, everything ties up in the end. I think it's one of M. Night Shyamalan's bests. And lastly, I picked up Wicked Little Things, which is from one of the After Dark Horror Fest 8 Films to Die For. Do you guys remember that? Because I loved that. I don't remember, like, the movies were hit or miss, but I still thought it was cool that they did this, and they released 8 horror movies all together. And I remember they had a Miss Horror Fest competition where they would crown the Miss Horror Fest who would be like the face of this. This one stars Scout Taylor Compton and Chloe Grace Moretz. The movie is not that good, but it's a comfort movie for me. It's about this mother who moves with their 2 daughters into this new place in the middle of the woods, and there's some creepy stuff going on. It has some creepy little kids running around. Oh, okay, so their home is situated near a mine where a tragedy happened and a bunch of kids were buried alive. So then those kids come back. The ghosts of little kids come back. I have to rewatch it. It's been years, but I used to love having this one on in the background while I was like doing my thing, or like late at night when I'm just, you know, getting ready for bed. It's just a comfort. It was a comfort horror movie for me, so I want to see if I still enjoy it as much. There you have it. That is my haul from the used book Superstore. That is my vlog, my shopping vlog and haul. I hope you enjoyed coming with me to these various bookstores, enjoyed watching me spend my money and add more to my horror collection. I'm getting up there in DVDs. I don't know what this will bring me to, but I counted right before adding these to my list and I had like 162. So I'm getting up there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to dig into all of this stuff and watch all of these movies. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know if you saw anything that you liked, any books or movies you think I should move up on my list to get to. And if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more content like this from me, I talk about spooky stuff all the time, books, movies, whatever. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you. I will catch you next time.